Satan, 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 our Lord and Master, I acknowledge thee as my God and Prince. I promise to serve and obey thee as long as I shall live. I renounce the other God and all the saints.
Don't listen to them!
Satan!
Don't listen to them!
Welcome back to the Ave Satanas podcast. My name is Jack Violently. I'll be your host today. The Ave Satanas podcast is a presentation of the Free Society Satanist. It's a worldwide collective of anarchistic Satanists under the banner of the Global Order of Satan. For more information and how to join us on Discord, check the links in the show notes. We've also added a Support the Show tab in the show notes where you can directly donate to our fundraising efforts. All money made from that tab will go to just that. Finally, if you enjoy our podcast and you get some value out of what we do here, please consider leaving us a 5-star review on whatever platform you listen to it on, as it greatly helps us out with the algorithm. Enough shilling for Satan, guys. We have a great show for you today. If you listened to last week's episode, you're going to recognize this voice here. We have the admin for Hail Philly. They're an independent satanic community based out of, well, Philly. Tomoe, what's going on?
Well, not a whole lot. Since the last time you guys heard me, I have run out of those banana chocolate coffees. I'm fiending. I'm shaking.
Terrible.
It's okay.
Are you looking to pawn shit around the house to get more? Looking for stuff you can sell?
All these tchotchkes behind me here, they're going. They're going for the banana coffee.
Well, and I hope you get your fix soon, because what's an addict without their fix? We're here for a different reason, though. We're not here to talk about your addictions, which are few at this point. You wrote this really awesome article on your Substack about Satanic community. Kind of walk us through that.
Yes. So I am an occasional blogger. I do not update frequently on purpose, because I feel like it should just be a labor of love, and it should only be things that I really want to put out there. Wow. Not trying to monetize at all. It's different in today's social media landscape. So yeah, I wrote this for my Substack. It's The Devil's John. If you need to find me, 9 times out of 10, that is my handle. John being Jawn. Philly slang. You know me.
And
anyway.
we'll definitely have these links in the show notes for everybody as well. We'll definitely link to it. Absolutely.
Yep. So yeah, on that particular page, I write like Satan-y, heathen-y, witchy things, along with a monthly Nick Cage movie post for one of my partners. That's a whole other story. It's just a small little publication. And this particular piece is something that I have been charging up, working on for, I think, the better part of a year now.
Oh, wow.
It was going to be like a satanic in nature type of topic. But then since I have not done anything with satanic in nature, I thought, why don't I just continue to work on this and doot around a little? And now here we are. Yay, the fruits of that labor. So this is about finding that just right group for you. Since we talk about, like, how many groups have we talked about on this podcast? And not even with me, just you guys in general. Like, how many?
There are quite a bit. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And the most fun and amazing thing about that is they are all so different from each other. While in the last episode, you, me, Gray, and Sai were all saying, like, oh yeah, our groups are really chill and cool, and they all have their own little personality, and it's really nice and home feeling. That might not be the case for other people joining us. While I would hope that one of ours would be that one, we're different people. We're all different. All of the spaces are different, and I wanted to take a look at the different types of things that you should consider when you jump into any part of the Satan space, because it varies.
And this is really cool too, because on the episode that we did with Spencer Sunshine, I was kind of posing the question, like, how do you know if a satanic group or what group is right for you? Like, how do you know like what to look for? Like things to kind of like, tick in boxes to make sure that this is not only a good place, but also like a safe space if that's what you're looking for. So yeah, this
Yes.
talk here is definitely going to be, in addition to its own thing, a kind of a follow-up to that specific question there.
Oh yeah. It's funny, before we even like thought about doing the audio for this, I listened to that and took a couple of points out of it and linked that episode in the article, because as you and I have said before, separately, quietly, that it can go from library socialism to actual fucking Nazis really, really fast in the Satan sphere.
Right.
And yeah, Spencer is the person, I think, who has the most compiled information on that. So shout out to Spencer Sunshine. Thank you for doing what you do, sir, or ma'am, or whatever pronouns you prefer.
Homie. What's up, homie?
Homie.
Appreciate that, homie.
Yes.
Good looking out, homie.
Yes. Thank you, friend. Thank you, comrade.
Yes.
So yeah, I guess I'll just dive into my first set of questions that I propose in this labor of love that I've been working on. First and foremost, what kind of interaction are you looking for? Because not every group meets in person. And yeah, a lot of them are just online only. Some of them do have a healthy combination of both. Is that even something that you would consider, like going out and meeting a bunch of random Satanists? Because we're a strange little group of people. Most of us are friendly, but as we just said, there are actual Nazis in this space. So maybe you want to kind of avoid that. Are you comfortable with a healthy dose of both? Are you more an online person? That is something you have to like think about first, I feel like, because 9 times out of 10, you're going to find whatever group it is online. I don't think there are a lot of people I can think of offhand that stumbled into Satanism in person, like outside of my niece. Shout out to Vic for just happening upon one of the Satany groups that I was volunteering for at the time, looking at that bunch of goobers and being like, you know what? I think this is for me.
And that's one thing that I see Gray do a lot with the Global Order of Satan channel, their Discord. Anytime there is a application from somebody in America, he immediately jumps on it. And he'll ask the first question, where are you located? Directly followed up by, do you care to, like, so let's say we currently have chapters in Pittsburgh, down here in the South, and in the Pacific Northwest. So that's very small portion of America. So if somebody is like, say in like Colorado, they're like, well, do you care about like doing personal meetups? Obviously they'll probably say no. They'll be like, well, you can pick one. But if somebody's like, yeah, I'd like to, do a meetup every once in a while, then they try to get you to the closest one possible. So yeah, absolutely. We do like one meetup a year right now. We're hoping to try to do 2 as it gets further down the line. And next year there's going to be a mega meetup up there in Philadelphia with you guys. So looking forward to that. Yes. But yeah, looking forward to online meetups. And I've actually had somebody like here close to us go like, you know what, I'm not really interested in meeting up. I have like, social anxiety disorder. I'd much rather just do this online. So yeah, that's a very valid question. Are they active in person IRL or are they just an online, or can you just do online? So yeah, that's a very valid first question there for sure.
Yes, that is not something I considered when I initially hopped out into the Satanverse. Like I kind of just threw my whole body in. Like I fell down the stairs, so to speak. I did not even consider this. Like, should I just talk to these people online or go in person? I showed up in person. Like, I had like a weird little Zoom meetup, and I said, you know what? Fuck it. They've already seen my face, and just hopped on out there. And spoiler alert, I'm no longer in that group. The first two groups that I joined, I'm no longer in because it just ended up being a thing where that group does not fit me. You know what I mean? Like, the vibe was not what I was looking for. So your safety matters, your comfort matters, and above all else, as I've said before, we are in a bit of a renaissance right now. You will find the right space. It just might take a little bit of effort. So, yeah, I definitely want to encourage you to try jumping in online somewhere at some point, because it is a really good kind of barometer for the overall vibe of the group, whether it's in Facebook or Discord. I've found the most fun groups have a really neat Discord, but
yes, absolutely.
Yeah. Some other places are Facebook only. So that's a whole other can of worms.
So you had mentioned something there at the beginning of that. Safety is a concern. So your personal safety can really be mitigated by just not showing up to IRL events. But the more important one is like your mental safety and your emotional safety. And we'll get to that later on. I'm just kind of teasing, foreshadowing little bits of what we're going to talk about later. But yeah, I would say first and foremost, your emotional and mental safety. And we'll definitely get into that a little bit later on. But yeah.
Yeah. As you said, you have someone local to you guys down there who just has social anxiety and is just totally fine with being online. That is perfectly acceptable. Those boundaries are very good boundaries to have. And for those of us who are safer online, you may want to consider a Satanym, which is a satanic pseudonym. And if you are on Facebook or if you are in a Discord, really consider online safety. For instance, what you link to your profile. Bear in mind, everybody's going to see that. So if you're linking like your Facebook profile, for instance, or your Instagram, bear in mind random Satanists in these Discords are going to be able to click your profile and find those things. When you share a selfie, like maybe don't have any like distinguishable landmarks in the background. If you join a Satany Zoom, maybe blur your background or be in a space where there's just nothing super identifiable going on. These are crazy times that we live in, and people can and will find you in person if they really, really want to. So just please be safe with that. Keep these things in mind. But with that being said, whatever integration and platform you decide to use, just have a little fun with it. Don't be overly paranoid. Just keep those little things in mind. I'm sure if Sai is listening to this, she's going to be like, oh my God, thank you, T. Because us as femme presenting, like not all white people, like that kind of goes double for us. Like we have different expectations on us. It's a crazy, crazy thing to consider, but please keep this in mind. And if you encounter somebody who is being a little more cautious, don't make fun of them about it.
Yeah, don't press. Yeah.
Yes, they're trying to be safe. They're trying to gauge the space. So
one thing that I thought about that was pretty funny. I apologize. I just cut you off on that. But like jumping into like a group Zoom meeting and having to blur your background, I think it would be even creepier. Like if you didn't and somebody goes, I know that living room. Like, oh my God, what the fuck? It just freaks you the fuck out. Like, what the shit? Where are you at? Oh, fuck. But that's a very dumb, stupid joke. But no, yeah, personal safety online is absolutely serious. And yeah, I mean, just, to be a Satanist, it helps to have a Satanism. Because like, let's say like me doing this show here, I'm kind of quasi fortunate enough to have a name that is really hard to Google. But if somebody were able to find me, then, my job could find out, or like family members that I don't want to know that I'm, doing this will find out. So yeah, it takes more, or it affects more than just your right now, right here, safety. Could be down the line, your economic safety, so yeah.
Yes. Yeah, that is very, very true. And especially with some very troubling legislations going on religiously in this country, it could potentially be bigger than you would think it is. So always keep that in mind. And where you find these groups, keep in mind other people can find these groups that same way. For instance, if you go on Discord, like Discord is a big site where Discord users and admins can post their Discords for just any person to find. Adults, minors, anybody looking for these keywords will be able to find these things. And there are some satanic Discord servers listed on Discord, like the Coven of Satan. I'm in there. But anybody can find these if they can just find the site and do just a couple cursory keyword searches. So that's just something to keep in mind when you are interacting with these spaces. So getting a little bit more into that, when you join online, there are various kinds of verification processes, applications, and so on that might pop up for you. Some of them are a little more rigorous. Some of them are a little more lax. If the application questions give you the heebie-jeebies, you don't have to fill that out. You can just kick rocks right there, and you've checked the space off the list of not safe,
What about those groups that really only make you pay a Patreon fee? They'll take anybody with a credit card. What do you think about those specific groups?
Oh, I will get into those very shortly, actually. I actually have a section of this that talk about paywalls. So why don't we just segue into that really quickly, since you already asked?
Okay.
That is another question that I highlight. Like, how accessible is the group? Are there any spots of it that are like a quote unquote premium subscription required, or is the group itself locked behind a paywall? And while we're talking money, where does that money go? That is a perfectly reasonable question to ask. If you are paying to be in a space, where does that money go? Mm-hmm. One thing that I like about you guys and the Free Society and the global order in general is you guys are very transparent about where the money goes. When you have a fundraiser, you guys will publish exact
everything,
numbers as to what has been collected, where that has gone, when that went there. Mm-hmm. That is not necessarily true of every satanic space that I've stumbled upon. For instance, one of the initial groups I joined, there were dues collected through Patreon.
Yeah.
While I was in that space, it was never made clear in any capacity as to where that money went. Like, there were maybe some vague talk about it, but there weren't anything ever hard published to the group at large about where that money went. If you're fine with that, go ahead and do your thing, pay your dues. I'm not really fine with that. Where was my money going?
Right. Yeah.
And that's one of the reasons why I'm not in that group anymore. The lack of, well, among other things, but one of the major points is the lack of transparency. Now,
Right.
as I've not been in that group for quite some time, I can't say for sure whether that has changed or not, whether publishings have happened since I've left. But at the time that I was there, that wasn't very great.
I doubt it. Yeah, I doubt it.
Yeah. So, yeah. And then there are larger organizations out there that will send you emails and be like, oh, donate to this thing. And then later, they're not required to publish just how much they collected for that thing. They're not required to publish exactly how much of what they raked in went to that actual project. So that's just something to keep in mind for when organizations ask you for money. As an org leader myself in Hail Philly, we're grassroots. Like, I'm just a regular fucking person. I'm not going to charge anybody to be there. However, we do have outings, and outings cost money. So the only time I'm ever like, hey guys, I need money, it'll be in the capacity of, hey, we are doing this thing. I need a head count so I can see just how much we need to put up for it. And if you want to go, this is how much it'll be. Like, we just split the cost. And that's that. As far as I know, nobody's had any problem with that. If they do have a problem with that, I will happily take that message. I will happily talk to you in whatever way you're comfortable speaking, whether it's a phone call. If you're close, I will literally come see you in person if you would like and talk to you. Like, we can work it out. I'm a normal person. Yeah, the economy's bad right now. I'm just trying to have fun with my friends. We'll make it work. I promise.
Yeah, and that's really all anybody really ever asks, if they ask at all, is like just transparency. You know, where's this coming from, or like where's this going? Aside from the Tesla dealership, wherever my money ends up is, you know, I just want to know: are we paying our car payment here, or what are we doing with my money here?
Yes.
But no. So yeah, like we never. So you had mentioned us, and I do appreciate the sentiment. I work a full-time job. I never wanted it to be a barrier of entry, even if it was $2 a month. I think we can say most everybody can afford a spare $2. I don't want your money. I have a job, and like all of the merch that I sell comes out of my pocket. I pay to have this stuff made, but even then I don't keep the profits. Like, we just push that into, like, you know, our fundraising efforts, any t-shirts or pins or patches or whatever, you know, whatever we're selling at the time, all that money just goes to like give away for our charity work and stuff. So yeah. And if I were trying to do this for a job, like if I were really trying to make money being a Satanist, that's fucking stupid, because really we're getting away from organized religion, passing the collection plate around. But, you know, daddy needs a new jet. What the fuck are we doing with it? Like, why are we trying to make money off of essentially just being a group organizer? It doesn't take that much money to do. I can promise you that.
Thank you. Yes. So yeah, I personally, I'm not going to lock Hail Philly behind a paintball, because I would feel like a fucking priest with the collection plate, and that is not me. Not me in the slightest. So yeah,
I don't know. You'd look all right in a habit. You'd look all right in a collar. And like, oh, yeah, never mind.
I think weirdos on the internet would pay money to see that.
I mean, you could fund your outings. No, stop it. Okay, we're done.
We're not doing feet pics.
I mean, I got some from Frodo Baggins' toes. If people want to pay for that, I mean, I'll show my feet. I ain't worried about that. No, okay. All right, we're getting sidetracked here. Okay,
sidetracked. But yeah,
are we ever really on track?
I don't think so, but I think we're doing all right now. But to reel us back it a little bit, when you do find a space, and let's say you do fill out whatever verification, like, read the group rules and guidelines or their codified values. They all have them. Hail Philly has them. Free Society has them. Satanic Temple has them. Church of Satan has them. They all have them.
Mm-hmm.
Read them and digest them. Do they align with your values, whether they are personal, political, or otherwise? That is the first question. If any of them strike you as I don't really quite like that, you've checked another one off the list. Like, you could just bounce right then and there.
When you see groups that have, we support total free speech here. And you may see things like what you were talking about, like strikingly vague, or where's the vagueness and all that.
Yes.
Like when you see things like we support free speech, we will not edit anyone. What that is really saying, and you have to think about like the deeper meaning behind what you're reading, is we're going to allow far right Nazis, white supremacists. We're going to allow hate speech and intolerance to go just for the sake of thought process. So when you think, when you see somebody like, we're proud to not edit or censor our server, well, you should maybe think about doing that, because who are you letting in? Who are you rooting around with? Because if there's 10 people at a table spouting racist views, there's 11 racists at that table. I think I probably butchered that saying, but yeah, so really read those rules and kind of try to read between the lines. And if then you still find some stuff that you may find skeevy, maybe that group might not be for you, or you might even have to join it for a while to see the kind of skeeviness that was hidden behind those rules.
Exactly. How are those rules and guidelines enforced in group settings, both online and offline? So once you get past the shiny set of guidelines, whatever they may be, is any of it vague, as Jack just said? Because there's a difference between a good vague and a bad vague. In the article that I wrote itself, one of the examples of like good vague I put up was like something along the lines of respect the autonomy of others or do not harm others. The word others blankets like people, whether they're adolescent, whether they're an adult or not. Others blankets that, and that could even be interpreted as other creatures as well.
Absolutely.
Do not harm others or respect the autonomy of others is a friendly kind of vague. Yes. And one of the bad examples that I have was exactly what you just said. It could be something along the lines of you have the freedom to offend. Is that necessary? And why is that necessary? That could go one way or another really, really fast. Remember, we said there's literal Nazis out here.
And really, if you think about a group being like a collection of your peers, you're all there for the same overarching belief or thought. Why would you want to offend somebody? Like, what's really going on here with that freedom to offend? And is also the freedom from consequence part of freedom to offend.
Exactly.
Are people held their feet to the fire when they offend? What happens to them when they offend? That all in are really good points. We, in our application process, make it damn clear that we are a left-leaning organization. Will that be a problem for you? And out of the 105 people now, I think, we have yet to have somebody click the yes button. So, yeah. I'm hopeful that we are on a fairly decent trajectory with that. And so far, to the 1 year date, we've never had to push anybody out for getting past that one. So yeah, it's a good track record so far.
Right. See, you built that into your verification process, and I don't think that that's a bad thing. I kind of cribbed from you guys with Hail Philly in something like that with our application. We are also a left-leaning space. We are inclusive. We are not going to tolerate any kind of racist or sexist or ableist type of bullshit up in our space. Like, one of the unofficial taglines for the city of Philadelphia is "fuck around and find out, buddy." Like, we're not going to tolerate that. So that is just very much a thing that I put right out there at the jump. You know what you're walking into when you click on the Hail Philly application in that regard. We're going to get back to how is that enforced? Segue into my next point. This is where you look at leadership.
Yeah.
Is there a leadership structure? How many people are in it? And how do they present themselves individually? Like, is it even clear who is leadership in the first place? That is a barrage of questions, but they are all very, very valid to ask. Because how they present themselves and how they interact sets a precedent for everybody else, whether they really consciously are aware of that or not. So if, let's say, somebody were to get into Hail Philly and start, I don't know, saying like, I don't think Jews should be allowed in public. Like, the way that I handle that will have an effect on the rest of the group. First, the fuck of all, just this person being allowed in the space in the first place, I would view as a failing. Second of all, if I don't slam the hammer down on you, I will feel like that is a second failing on my part because I will not tolerate that. I can't say the same outside of my doors. Like maybe Steel City has a different process. Maybe you guys have a different process. Maybe Capital Area has a different process. Although I am 100% confident that every group that I just said would break their fucking foot off in that person's ass on the way out the door.
So in our group specifically, the Free Society, Sai is the one who holds the ban hammer only because she's the only one who can lift it. And she swings the Mjolnir around at will. So anytime, I think there's been like once or twice early on, we kind of had to let a guy go for some cringeworthy type of political takes. And we say at the top of every podcast, we're an anarcho-satanic group. So obviously they either A, didn't know what that meant, or B, just decided to join to try to like shit post for a minute. But yeah, Sai's the one who wields the banhammer. And when it comes to topics of race, sexuality or other, she swings it freely, and boy, she has an arm. She does the Babe Ruth point to the outer, the left field wall and just fucking swings for the fence on that one. So yeah.
Good. See, this is a quality that I look for in a group. This might not be something that maybe a listener necessarily wants such drama on, although I would question their motives with that. So yeah, that to me, A+ presentation for group leadership. Outside of even just those interactions, though, how does leadership, interact in the group and with whom? One of those first couple of groups that I had joined featured a cis male leader who mainly interacted with femme presenting folk. Now, could be totally innocent. As Jack and I are conversing, I'm femme presenting, he's a cis man. Totally innocent here. However, in this particular setting, I started to see things that were a little more inappropriate over time. And somebody else in the group saw what I was seeing and confronted this person. And rather than like addressing it, they slammed the banhammer and denied it all to the group at large. So maybe not the best reaction to a question, to having somebody come to you because you are the leader in the group. Brings me to my next point. Do the words and actions of leadership align?
Right.
You can say one thing and do another, but go on, Jack.
Oh, I apologize. I'm off my timing today. So when you were talking about, like, if a member of male leadership, like saying and doing some things that are skeevy, and then he ultimately just broke the banhammer out, I kind of made it a thing early on in our group to involve Mrs. Violently. And I told quite a few of the early on adopters, I was like, yeah, make sure you send her a friend request. If I start saying some out of pocket stuff, or if you think that I'm being skeevy or kind of weird to you, you don't have to come to me to talk about it. You can make my life a living hell. So that's like, that was how transparent I wanted it to be. I was like, yeah, Ms. Violently's in the server. She's not a Satanist, but she's in the server. If I'm saying some shit, this is the warden. Sorry to tease a horrible 90s Gen X, like, oh God, the old ball and chain. That's fucking dumb.
No, that's good though.
Sure. Yeah. She's here in the server, and she checks on it regularly. And if any femme presenting person in this group thinks that I've been a little bit, don't talk to me about it. Talk to the missus. She will sort it out for sure. Yeah,
oh my gosh.
That was just an aside.
That for me is a good thing. And I think that makes a level of comfort for the femme presenting folk that a lot of other spaces aren't willing to do. I'm in a similar situation. My nesting partner has all of the adminship that I have. If I've gone off my fucking rocker, she can pull the plug, walk into the other room, and slap me across the back of the head. I would prefer a balance of leadership. So right. Yeah, that's why I said, what kind of structure is there, and then how many people are in it? Is that a dynamic that is welcome to change as well? I would happily expand the leadership of Hail Philly. Happily. No questions. I've been in other spaces where leadership is just a solid set number, and there is no term limit for that solid set number. So how exactly are you supposed to grow in a dynamic like that? How exactly is that affecting the group at large? It's very nuanced questions, very nuanced answers, and it is worth pondering over time. To get back to what I had proposed like a couple minutes ago, do the words and actions of leadership align? And when they are approached about things, how do they take it? Do they handle it privately? Do they lash out in the group in public? Like, how do they take this? Because let me tell you, ma'am, leadership is fucking hard. It's hard.
Isn't it? It is. Yeah.
Yeah. Outside of just Hail Philly, I'm in like a leadership position for my professional 9 to 5. Like, leadership is hard, and there's always going to be people out there who feel that you're just doing it wrong, and whatever approach you take is just not the one for them in that moment. This is why I prefer spaces to have more than one leader, because let's say I handle something on shaky ground, another leader of Hail Philly could pop up and just make the situation better. Maybe have a solution that I don't have and didn't think of. Maybe they have a better relationship with the person who's like coming forward with something that's bothering them. So that's just something to think about, and think about the playing field in general in any of these spaces. Because again, the rules and guidelines are going to come into play. They can say one thing, but leadership could be enforcing it in a whole other way that you weren't prepared for, or not enforcing it at all. It's going to bring me into my next point.
It sounds like there's going to be like a musical. It sounds like there's going to be like a musical accompaniment to that. What was going on there?
I often sing things. This is just something that I do. I'm surprised I've yet to do it on this particular thing. So yeah, just my leadership style. My next point. Are these leaders obviously politically motivated? And if so, in which direction? Yeah. So with what I said about things not being enforced, I'm going to bring up politics for a moment. We are in very strange times.
Right.
Politics are going to come up. We're Satanists. We're seeing the rise of Christian nationalism happen right before our very eyes. How is that subject being broached in the group of large? I have been in spaces where the rules said no politics. However, that rule was very dubiously enforced by the leadership in that space. It seemingly only got enforced when the conversation went in a direction that they personally didn't like. There is a difference between no politics and only one side of the fence only. What I was seeing was not no politics. This was my side of the fence only.
Yes.
Why write one thing and then enforce another? This is something that's very, very big with me. This is when I see any type of leadership, eyes on them for politics specifically. I've been in other groups, such as the Free Society, where politics are discussed pretty openly, and your guidelines and rules are enforced. You guys have specific channels and chats for things, and a lot of spaces do. We certainly do in Hail Philly. The rules of conduct are clear. Do not be openly racist. Do not be a fucking shithead in any capacity. It's okay to have opinions, like we're going to do that, but the way that you present these opinions could be problematic. It's very touchy for a lot of people, and I do understand that there are people who don't want to see this at all because the world is a mess and maybe you have generalized anxiety. It is still very important to keep an eye on those channels because it can swing one way or another very, very fast, especially when people feel comfortable. It can get... Maybe it'll surprise you. Maybe it'll be great. Maybe it'll not be great. We mentioned literal Nazis being in this space. I, unfortunately, have had a run-in with literal Nazis in a group space before.
Oh, wow.
As I've stated, I'm Jewish. I'm also mixed race. I'm an odd duck anywhere I go. And the example that I gave earlier, I don't think Jews should be allowed to be in public, was the literal thought that was being expressed when I ran into an actual Nazi in an actual space. Yeah. Your face is crazy.
Okay, yeah, I got the big eyes going on. Was this in the group that we knew of?
Yes.
Holy fucking dog shit. Okay, without obviously like naming names or dropping bombs. What was that talk like? Like, for fucking real, in a satanic space, somebody came in and said, I do not believe that Jews should be allowed outside. Fucking... Okay.
So,
okay. Oh, God.
The conversation started very innocently. Like, someone had brought up how delicious Jewish apple cake is, which, I'm going to be real with you, it is a delicious fucking cake. And then somebody felt some type of way about the word Jewish and popped out on some insanity, all because this person was upset about having been circumcised. It was like, yes, it was like pulling teeth to come to that conclusion, but it went from 0 to 60 in less than a half of a second. Like, surprise Nazis. Like, as we said, the space can go from library socialism to Nazis very, very fast, and I have literally seen it.
I'm so fucking mad I forgot to breathe. Oh my God.
Yeah. Thankfully, the person in charge of that space saw that and was like, this is actually bad, and banned that person. But
Jeez.
not before the person got to a point where, like, I don't think they should be allowed in public. Like,
Yeah. And that's also coming from a space that publicly posted Ben Shapiro and Jordan Peterson videos as thought exercises. At least we found where the line was. Fucking hell, man. So with ours, we are not only left-leaning, but we are anarcho-Satanist. So for those who don't really or fully understand what anarchism truly is, it is community resource. It is looking out for other. It is soup kitchens. It is helping to feed, almost like socialism, really. Like socialism and anarchism, kind of, they're adjacent. So that will inform anybody coming to the free society. Not only are these people left-leaning, they're like militant about it. So like, I like to say Henry Rollins had the best quote. I was telling Cy this yesterday. The only thing more left of me is the wall that I'm leaning on. Like if that wall wasn't there, I would fall to the fucking ground. So absolutely. So if somebody were to come in and they hear us talking about community resources and community outreach and like, mutual aid, like, oh, what are these fucking hippies on? No, well, maybe this isn't the right space for you. So we're really not going to tolerate not only like just people bringing up Jewish people in a negative light, but saying they don't deserve to be out in fucking public. They wouldn't finish the sentence before the ban hammer got dropped. And I guarantee that with all certainty. My God.
Yeah.
I'm still forgetting to breathe, man. God damn it. I'm fucking so mad about hearing that. Oh.
It's okay. I'm okay. Yeah. So yeah, how does that get handled? Right. And I have been in the same damn space, been in a position where race got brought up in a negative manner. Like I've had somebody come in there and say something horrendous to me in a voice chat, just horrendously racist about Japanese women, which I am. Yeah, this is just casually on a fucking Tuesday. There's like five or six of us at a voice chat just doodly-dooting around. Somebody asked me about something that they had seen or read, I think in like a manga or some shit. And I was like, oh yeah, that's this thing, blah, 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 blah. And then this person who was newer to the group at the time was like, oh, you're Japanese? And like I braced myself because the way that he said it. And I'm just like, yeah, as my name suggests. And then he just said something I'm not even going to repeat it. It was fucking horrendous. I was immediately just flipped the switch. Like, what the fuck did you just say to me? Like, and then other people in the chat were like, dude, you can't just fucking do that, dude. You can't do that. And when I went to leadership about it, I was the one chastised.
Par for the course, par for the fucking course. Absolutely. Yeah. We've talked about the Free Society a little bit. Walk us through like Hell Philly, like as far as like leadership and what you guys, what y'all's kind of mantra and just what y'all's credo is. Like, tell us a bit about Hell Philly for a minute.
Yes. So we're not gonna fucking tolerate that. I'm just gonna throw that right the fuck out there. If this person said to me what they said to me in this other space, I would be like, not only would I curse them the fuck out just openly, I would again break my foot off in their ass, kicking them out the door. And even if they didn't say this to me, if somebody was in a voice chat, let's say I'm at work and a couple of people came to me like, yo, I'm in voice chat with these people and this person just said something really fucked up to that person. I will fly into both of their DMs so fucking fast and be like, yo, is this true?
Yeah.
What happened? And the offender, I'm going to be like, why the fuck would you say anything remotely fucking like that? So yeah, no, we are inclusive. Personally, I am a socialist. I feel sharing is caring.
Yeah.
Community action is important to me. Being in a safe space is important to me, especially in the climate that we're in. We are on the left. If you can't deal with that, do not join us. If you have a problem with that, I will break my foot off in your ass. Do not join us. Um, but if those things resonate with you, yeah, come see what we're about. I have us listed as a social club because we have not done any charity work yet. Remember, my group is still a baby. We will get there.
Sure. Yeah.
Wholeheartedly will. Outside of being a left space and being inclusive, I have this idea that I've said on here before about being a satanic Wu-Tang clan, and I really fucking take that seriously. I would view it as a personal failing if the main chunk of my group was only in my group. I want you guys to go out and be comfortable in other spaces. I want you to have the benefits of every angle of Satanism that you're comfortable with. I want you to bring the fun parts of it on home. And I just want us to have a nice little time. Yeah. Sharing is caring.
To piggyback off of that, that's another hallmark of a great leader. We've been in places before where if you bring up the fact that you're in another satanic space, they get offended. They get their little fifis hurt. And they tend to ban people who go off and try to find other satanic communities. I've seen and witnessed that firsthand. So really it's, yeah, and that's a shame too, because Satanism is such a small circle of people. It really and truly is. Once you kind of find where we are, you find all of us pretty quickly, outside of like TST and stuff. But most TST people are now finding just the average group of Satanists. So why wouldn't you want to like you have friends in Washington State, you have friends in Arizona, you have friends in Philadelphia, you have friends in Florida. Like, why not meet as many of us as you can? Especially if in our case, we're lucky and fortunate enough to have laid the groundwork where we all kind of have the same goal in mind. We want the same things for each other. So we're, and by saying that in that left leaning space, we all kind of know what to expect. And, I've said it at least 7 episodes. What I view Satanism as is anarcho-socialism, because Satan fought for the tyrannized and the oppressed, and he spoke truth to power. Who's going to speak up to the powers that be? Right-wing Satanism? No, they are the powers that be. We're speaking up for what is right. We're speaking up for the little man or the little person, and we are fighting alongside those who have been tyrannized and oppressed. If that is not arm-in-arm socialism, I don't know what the fuck is. So to have any other group who would say, well, no, we really don't get into politics around here, or, like anything goes in politics, that's fucking skeevy to me for some reason. So I don't necessarily buy that.
Yeah. Somewhere, even if, let's say there is a group that just kind of lets people freely talk politics in any manner. And let's say that they don't actually enforce like a stopping point. That would be such an unsafe space to be in.
Right.
That would just be crazy. That would just be the comment section of like an LGBT Facebook post is what I would imagine that space would be. So yes, I feel like the satanic spaces that we circulate in and have cultivated are a very good example of anarcho-socialism. I'm going to shout out House of Heretics here really quickly.
Absolutely.
So far away from the both of us, but such a nice little space to be in. Like, I'm on the literal opposite end of the country, and I still pop in there to see what's going on. Maybe I'm not the most vocal in there, but I fucking love them. And I don't think I've ever spoke about this on this podcast yet, which is a shame.
I don't think so, no.
Yeah, I recently posted it in Free Society. I have my favorite collaboration going on with them right now. We have a group online grimoire for like rituals and spells and things for people who do practice any type of witchcraft, which is a big base for Hail Philly too. Philly is a very diverse city, and my group is not just for Satanists. It is for humanists. It is for atheists. It is for witches. I want the space to be comfortable and open for any Satan adjacent type of thought. But when I proposed the shared grimoire, the leadership of House of Heretics took it and just loaded it the fuck up. Like, they were the first ones to jump in there and be like, oh, I've got this, I've got that, I've got this, I've got that. Let's put like a subfolder for stuff that we're still working on. Like, it became theirs very quickly, way more than it was ever mine. And I fucking love them for it. This is what I want to see.
I'm such a bad, I'm such a bad leader in leadership. For the longest time, like early on in the podcast, I want to say 6 months in, I reached out to Cypher and I was like, hey man, let's get together and let's do a show for you guys as well to talk about what the Pacific Northwest is doing. And she was like, yeah, absolutely. Let's do it. And I have it in my book. I keep looking at it. I haven't reached back out to them to really schedule it. So that's definitely on me. I need to get that sorted sooner rather than later.
No time like the present.
Right.
Yeah.
I need to reach out to them and get a good time and just sit down, like come up with a couple of questions. This is the loose schedule. But yeah, no, that's been on the show.
They're so
the
busy
show board.
though.
They really are. Yeah. And
they're so busy. They have stuff
like,
happening.
much unlike us. We're just sitting around. We're just twiddling our thumbs over here. We're just waiting for the sun to go down is what we're doing.
No,
I did want to touch on one thing that you did say before that about the safe space. And that's such a misaligned word in today's lexicon. But when you think about it, a Satanist who is possibly or could be part of the queer community, who may be or may not be a POC, their outside life is a fight for your life type of situation right now. You're queer,
you just described
you're a POC, you're a woman, you're a Satanist. All of these things, society is trying to knock you the fuck down. So your life is a day-to-day struggle. You don't want to come into a space like a satanic space. This is your refuge. This is your place to get away from all of that bullshit. You deserve a safe space, much like everybody else does who is part of this group. So once again, just going back to we're not going to tolerate like bullshit in here is because most of our people are outside really in a war zone right now. I say that as a cis white male. Like, what the fuck do I have to fight for in my day-to-day life? I am very fucking blessed. I fell out of the lucky tree and hit every branch on the way down and landed in a pile of Skittles. Like, it was a Ted Lasso, I think, or whatever. But
at the very least, you're aware of that, though.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, there are so many other white men out there who just don't have that consciousness yet. They can get there.
Yeah. It takes some time. And really, like, so when we talk about, like, you were a Satanist before you knew what it was, learning that compassion and empathy, like I learned like in high school to try to see everything through everyone else's eyes. And that can squash a lot of arguments. Never attribute to malice what you can attribute to incompetence has saved a lot of fights for me. So really to that end, like, just seeing stuff through somebody else's eyes. So if the word safe space offends you, it's obvious you don't get the fucking plot. Or it's more obvious that you're probably a cis white male and just haven't got the fucking plot. But so, yeah, making these spaces an intentional safe space for everybody is the most ongoing challenge. And once it gets going, it is a ship that drives itself. But yeah, I mean, getting it started is definitely the biggest hurdle that we've probably faced.
Yeah. And I think us kind of finding each other has greatly attributed to the progress that we've made. Once one of us pops up like, yo, I don't like the way you're saying that, man, the rest of us form up like fucking Voltron on that Wu-Tang shit. Like, this is exactly the point of that. Like, so yes, just having just little clusters. Here I am. I'm gonna make a Star Wars reference for you guys. I have friends everywhere.
Nice. I am Legion for we are many, motherfucker.
I have friends everywhere. Yeah.
So we've been going just about an hour. Is there any final kind of wrap up that you wanted to do with this this episode here?
So, yes, I wrapped this up with just a couple of lingering questions that I routinely ask myself when I've been in a space for a little bit of time. These are things that I try to exercise like in any given scenario, not just satanic spaces. So in a group at large, things are going to change. New people are going to join. Maybe some people leave. That's fine. That's natural. There is an ebb and flow to this. So has the tone of the group shifted lately in a way that you dislike? So,
ooh, that's a good one.
Yes, there have been spaces that I've like camped in a little while, and then something happens and the tone of the group changes. So when this happens, you got to consider like other things that are happening in your life, other stressors, like what exactly is going on that you're seeing, and maybe you're being affected by something else. Maybe it's you, maybe it is the space. You just got to think about that and maybe take some time away. You don't have to leave the group like right then and there. Maybe just sign out, take a week or just a couple of days before you go back in there and see what's happening. That's very important. Another thing with us, like our spaces, I think I talked about this in the last episode, is we don't force interaction. Yeah. Like, you don't have to sign in and talk to us every day. I love that. I love to see you. But you are an individual with responsibilities. Maybe you have a full-time job. Maybe you're working multiple jobs. Give me what you feel you can without feeling like it's a performance. That is very important. So with that being said, the other question is, do most conversations in there leave you exhausted or just feeling drained?
Yes.
These are just things to think about when you're out in the spaces. Any decent leadership person will recognize that you have other things going on. Maybe you need some time away. And if you do decide to leave, they will welcome you back. Absolutely. Anytime. No. Yes, if you decide to come back. That is how I see it. Like, you can leave Hail Philly. You are very welcome back as long as I haven't broken my foot off in your ass banning you.
Sure.
Yeah. And you will know. You will know the difference.
You will come limping back in because there'll be something sticking out of your butt. Sai had mentioned that to me. So I often worry about this. And there is, like you said, ebbs and flows to a group. And I predominantly keep two channels muted. The politics channel and the Wicked Wheeling channel. We have a car channel. I'm not a car guy. I only kept the politics channel closed just because we do post a lot of, like, you know, what the fuck is Trump doing these days? What the fuck is this guy doing? I was like, I don't want to see his fucking face every, you know, I just.
And that's fine. Yeah.
I get it. So I had those two channels muted, and there was like 2 days with like barely any interaction. And I'm like, Sai, what the fuck's going on with our group? It's dead as disco in here. And she was like, what are you talking about? I unmute politics, 50 plus messages. I unmute Wicked Wheeling. Dom and Chris had gotten into this thing about motorcycles. I'm like, whoa, man, like, people are getting heavy in here. It's the two that I don't care about. I was thinking like Gen Chat was like the only place people could talk, for Christ's sakes. So I was I had locked myself out of the interaction by being closed off to the idea of just entertaining it. And that was probably for my own mental safety or my own mental well-being for that week. I was just like, I don't want to see Trump's fucking face again. Just mute that shit. But then I was like, yeah, the group went down. I was like, what the hell, man? So to that end, yeah, I've opened it back up and I see it's always highlighted in bold, which means there's new messages. I'm like, I'm not going to look at that, but I at least unmuted it.
I have certain things in my own space muted, and I have a little like resource thing, and in that resource thing is like a how to Discord type of thing. And in that, I mentioned tailoring your channels and notifications, especially if you are like Jack and myself, when you're in multiple groups at once. You don't need to see everything. You can just, for instance, the busiest channels in Hail Philly, Flavortown, for sure.
God damn it.
Flavortown. We have a locals chat that is bumping. And then I think like off and on, like the general channel goes in and out of phases.
Yeah.
The rest can be like tailored, you can skip the technology channel. Honestly, I haven't muted. I don't know shit about computers. Okay. So I don't need, I don't know what everybody's talking about in there. I'm not going to pretend to know what everybody's talking about in there. I just pop in occasionally to gauge the tone. Like, are people being nice to each other? That's really it. It's all I pay attention to. But if you, listener, are not the leader of a space, maybe you love computers. Maybe you should keep that channel on, and maybe you don't give a fuck about food in Philadelphia, so you can just yeet Flavortown right off your dashboard. Like, it's fine. It's fine to not be in every channel.
And if you are in and around the Philadelphia area and looking for a really kick-ass group of Satanists or just witches or people in the ilk to hang out with, here's one for you right here, Hail Philly. Yeah. And we will have your Discord. We're going to have the Devil's John Substack to link to this, the writing that you did there for this episode here. We're going to have that linked as well. Tomoe, it is always an honor and a pleasure to talk to you. You are quite possibly my second favorite Satanist out there.
I'll take it.
I'm the first. It's me. I'm the first. I love me.
For self and Satan.
For self and Satan. Abso-fucking-lutely. Let's wrap this up. I'm going to go ahead and let you plug all your pluggables there, and then we will we'll hit the road.
Alrighty. So you will find the Hail Philly link tree. On that, you can find all of the elusive little spaces in which I occupy under the Hail Philly banner. We are most active in that Discord. Blue Sky kind of pisses me off because politics. I'm not really active in Meta anywhere because I read a couple of books and boy, is that actually evil. Discord is our main thing. Knowledge is power, and unfortunately, power can make you really fucking pissed.
Right.
Yeah, so the link tree is there. We have an Instagram. Sometimes I share local to Philly stories. That aside, my Substack, one of the reasons why I love Substack is you don't have to sign up to it to subscribe to people. All you need is an email. Yes, all you need is an email. You can just do your little email in there, and whatever it is, whoever you subscribe to posts will be delivered right to you. You never have to sign in if you don't want to. So, enjoy.
I honestly didn't even know that. That's really cool to know. Same thing. I don't use our Instagram anymore. I signed up for TikTok for a little bit and found out it's not really my cup of tea either. Yeah, our Blue Sky Substack and our Discord is primarily where we do our thing as well. But guys, we're going to leave you there. This has been a fun hour. like I said, go check out if you're anywhere near Philly or in that area. If you can make it to Philly in an hour and a half's time, they do. You guys are gonna start doing more meetups. Like as time goes on. What do you guys do? Like one a year or something like that?
I'm trying to do something seasonally. And actually, on that note, very good point. We're going to Bugfest in August.
I'm sorry, Bug Fest.
Yeah, Bugfest.
Philly has a Bugfest.
Yeah, we have an annual Bugfest. So
because what a lot of people,
a lot of people don't really know about Philadelphia is we have a very like dense population of museums and things. You know, you get barraged by cheesesteaks and our sports all the time, which I'm sorry for anyone who's ever had to deal with a drunk Eagles fan. You're stronger than a U.S. Marine if you have. We have a lot of museums. And one of them is the Academy of Natural Sciences, which is kind of partnered with the illustrious Drexel University. It is just that, the Academy of Natural Sciences. They have things celebrating nature, and Bugfest is an annual thing towards the end of summer that celebrates, well, bugs. And my personal Satanism, which this is where the overlap of witchcraft comes in for me the most, is to have a respect and even a little bit of awe for nature, especially the parts of it that are misunderstood generally or just widely unloved or underappreciated. So Bugfest is very much a celebration of one of nature's underappreciated and even misunderstood things that are all around us. Bugs. So we're going to that.
Nice. And as one of my favorite bands, Bad Religion, has said, like ants in the colony, we do our share, but there's so many other fucking insects out there. Yes. Yeah. Well, we're gonna leave it there. We're gonna have the link tree for Hail Philly. I've been trying to exit this thing for 3 minutes now, trying to keep it at 1:15. But no, go check out the Hail Philly Discord. Check out the Devil's John on Substack. We're gonna have all that in the notes. But until next time, guys, hail Satan and hail thyself.
Hail Bigfoot.
Satan, Satan,